for another makeup competition. On the left side of my face, we are going to have Kosas. On the right side of my face, we are going to have Saie, and we are going to put these brands head to head and see what comes out on top. Alright, yeah, I'm going to be doing one of my makeup competitions where I like to pair similar brands with one another and see which ones come on top. Now this one, we only have 8 rounds just based on what I could get my hands on and what was actually similar within the brand to keep it fair. So there are 8 types of product that I am going to put head to head with these brands. Particularly the big one to watch today, the big rounds to watch, are going to be complexion and base products because that's where the brands are the most similar. Now, if you missed it, I already did a Kosas versus Tower 28, and Tower 28 really beat out Kosas, so I wanted to give Kosas a second chance and compare it to Saie because I do consider these two brands familiar. And then we'll finish this little threesome out with Saie versus Tower 28 within the next month. But anyways, let's just get into it, okay? I was a dummy and already applied my sunscreen, but both brands happen to have a sunscreen, so we'll double duty it today. So on the right side of my face, I'm going to use the Kosas Dream Beam Comfy Smooth Sunscreen. And on this side of my face, I'm using the Saie Sun Visor Radiant Moisturizer. For reference, Kosas is SPF 40, Saie is SPF 35. So we're going to start off with the Kosas, which I like this one a lot. It does have a little bit of a tint to it. The reason I'm going pretty minimal with the amount that I'm applying is because I already have my Super Goop sunscreen on. Not the glowy one, just their normal one. But I don't want to over apply, but nonetheless, this product shouldn't be over applied anyways because it does have a little bit of a tint and a glow to it. And I find that when I do over apply this, I can look greasy and my makeup looks pretty greasy at the end of the day. But if I apply a minimal amount, not minimal, you still want to apply enough. It is an SPF, but I do just want to be careful, especially with other products that I'm pairing with it. If I'm doing a heavy skincare day with a lot of like oils and serums, I won't reach for the Kosas, but on your dry skin day, it's perfect, but you can see it adds the prettiest of glows. Now, the Saie is new to me. I've never tried this, so today's the first time. So let's see, this needs shaken. Okay, this one looks like it has, whoa, these are similar in that this one also has a tint. This one feels a little bit more oily as well compared to the Kosas, but they both look really pretty. I think the big determining factor is going to be which one handles makeup better, but just judging by the feel, the Saie feels more hydrating. The Kosas, while it is very hydrating, it's kind of crazy how much more, I want to say greasy, the Saie feels. I don't know if I love that when it comes to a sunscreen. I normally let my skincare take care of that, but both feel nice. So which one is going to win this round? Obviously, this is going to be subject to change. I do need to use the Saie more, but I have had the Kosas for a long time, and just judging with my experiences with different SPFs and how they feel, I think the Saie might get a little bit too oily and greasy throughout the day for me. So I'm going to give this to Kosas. Even though Kosas can also get greasy, it is easy to handle as long as you don't over apply. We'll go for Kosas, but I'm going to keep an eye on this throughout the days, and if I change my mind on the Saie, this is going into my speed reviews drawer, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But I've heard nobody talk about the Saie SPF, and it does give a really hydrated glow and look to the skin. I'll admit, that one was a little bit of an unfair matchup. Let's continue on with the glowy base products. So today we are going to be comparing the Kosas Glow IV Skin Enhancer versus the Saie Glowy Super Gel. Both of these are very similar products because they are supposed to give a glowy base. We're going to start off with Kosas here. I have mine in the shade Boost. These are different colors, but I don't know what's wrong with the packaging on this right now. Anyways, these are both quite different colors, but I'm very experienced with both formulas. So I already know what I'm gonna say and who's going to win. I find this Kosas to be way too glittery and metallic for me. It does give a little bit of coverage here, but this is just not my favorite product. I hate the way it makes my skin look. And there's little glitter particles on the face, which I personally find unacceptable for a complexion product. I'm not a fan of this. However, I am a big time fan of the Saie Glowy Super Gel. I do have mine in a light color in Star Glow today. I love this as a makeup base. It gives the prettiest glow to the skin. It's not one that I would wear alone, but look at this glow, you guys. And it has more of a hydrating, lightweight feel compared to the Kosas. And there's no glitters. So by a landslide, Saie is going to win this one, making it 1-1. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where things get juicy. On this side of my face, I'm applying the Kosas Revealer Foundation. On this side of my face, I'm applying the Saie Glowy Super Skin Foundation. These are both two very popular foundations. I would say the Kosas probably gets a little bit more attention. So I'm just going to use my finger to spread the Kosas foundation, and then I'm going to use the butt of my beauty blender to push it in. And honestly, my experience with this foundation is it's really never been a favorite of mine. It gets the job done, but I personally find it to be overhyped. I think it sits a little heavy on the skin. But I always find it interesting to go side by side with foundations because sometimes my opinions on foundations change, seeing it compared side by side with a foundation that I like or that I don't like. So on the other side, let's apply the Saie. This one has more of a watery consistency. I would say, judging blindly, I know the colors are going to be a little bit different. We're going to have to pretend that they're not. But blindly, going off of just my experiences, I like the Saie more. It's more lightweight. It has less coverage than the Kosas, but it does have more of a glowy look as well. I find that sometimes the Kosas, I've noticed, can sit heavy on my skin. But again, like I said, sometimes doing these comparisons changes everything with how I view a product. So let's take a look how things are sitting. I definitely feel like the Kosas is sitting a little bit more on top of my skin, and the Saie, it looks more lightweight. However, I'm getting more coverage on the Kosas side. The Saie side has more dew to it. So I feel like these are two pretty different foundations based on what you're looking for. While I say that the Kosas looks a little heavier on me, that also is just my preference. A lot of people love the Kosas foundation, but for me and this round, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Saie, making it 2 Saie, 1 Kosas. For the next round, we also have two very popular products. We have the Kosas Revealer Concealer and the Saie Hydra Beam Concealer. Now, this one is a battle of the lesser of two evils because honestly, I have not been a fan of either in the past, so this one will be interesting. So I'm going to start off with the Kosas. I have mine in the shade 2W. This is one of their new shades that's more of a neutral undertone. It's pretty light. They sent me some light shades, but I'm just going to apply a little bit. And again, using my sponge to blend this out. Now, just like the foundation, I always feel like this has looked a little heavy on my under eyes, and it's always emphasized fine lines and texture on my under eyes, so I've never been a huge fan of this concealer. It's another product that I find to be overrated, but so many people love it. Let's see how it compares to the Saie. Now, I haven't used the Saie in a good amount of time, I will admit, because it's not my favorite concealer either. Going side by side here, the Kosas definitely is giving more coverage. The Saie has more of a dewy look, and the applicator I feel like is just giving me less product, which I don't like. Okay, I think I know who the winner is. We'll see with where, but as of now, I feel like the Saie is even less flattering than the Kosas. So it is with hesitation that I give this round to Kosas, tying us back up at 2 versus 2. So the next round we have is setting powders. I have the Kosas Cloud Set Powder. Now Saie has this loose setting powder here, but guess what, you guys? I did not like it and I decluttered it, so I'm not going to be using it, but I already know who's going to win just based off of experience. I just feel like I can already see that Saie concealer separating. It's not good. Anyways, I really enjoy this Kosas powder. Now, I don't prefer it for setting the under eyes, but I will today just for the sake of the video. It doesn't blur the under eyes like I like it to, but I think it's really pretty to set all over the face. It adds a little bit of additional coverage, but it doesn't completely mattify the face. Since I have two very glowy looks going on, you can see I still have the glow even after with setting, but I've always really liked the way that this Kosas has looked. A lot of times I'll pair it with something like my Huda Beauty loose setting powder. I'll just set in the T-zone with that, and then I'll use this to set with the rest. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful setting powder. So easily, Kosas is going to win this round, making it 3 Kosas to Saie. Next up, we have Battle of the Bronzers, and I'm really excited for this round because I love both bronzers, and truthfully, I have no idea who's coming out on top. So for the Kosas side, I am using their bronzer here, and then for the Saie side, I'm using their Sun Melt cream bronzer. Now, surprisingly, Kosas does not have a cream bronzer, but both of these are so amazing. I think the competition is fair, nonetheless. Okay, so I'm just going to use my brush. I did just scrape off the hard pan that was on top. Look how beautiful and soft this bronzer is from Kosas. I love the tone as well. This is one of the best bronzers, and it still has that glowy finish, and normally I don't like a bronzer with a glowy finish. Kosas is one of the few brands that's created a glowy finish that I actually enjoy in a bronzer. But I can say as equally good things about the Saie bronzer. This one also, just like the Kosas, has been in so many favorites. I also love the tone of this. I love the application in this. I really don't know who's gonna win. They're both equally beautiful bronzers, and you can see both tones look fantastic. What do you guys think? I genuinely don't know. I'm gonna go based off of these two. Which have I used more? Which have I recommended more? And which one stands out more in its format in the world of powder bronzers versus cream bronzers? I feel like there's a lot of really, really good powder bronzers out there. So I think within its style of product, the Saie stands out more. So I'm going to give this one to Saie, but in my heart, it is honestly a tie. But Saie's gonna win this round. Now, these next 3 categories of makeup, neither brand has a competitive product for. I can't believe Kosas does not have a blush, so I'm just gonna use my Saie Dewy Blushes, which if Kosas did have a blush, this would make for some tough competition because I do love these Saie, but I feel like Kosas could do a good job. And then I'm gonna do my brows with Kosas, which Kosas, in my opinion, is a genius at brows. Saie does have a brow gel, but I couldn't get my hands on it. It just wasn't available. But I feel like Kosas would win the round because Kosas has amazing brow products. But we're gonna keep the competition fair. And then Kosas is the only brand that has eyeshadow products, so I'm going to use my Kosas 10-second eyes. Yeah, I'm just gonna do that really fast.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, and I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty cruise control. Switching the manual. Don't you wanna feel right?
I'm applying this Saie Mascara 101. Just want to mention that Kosas also has a mascara. The wand is too big on that for me, but oh, I just poked myself. Dang it. I hate when this happens. But anyways, Kosas also does have a mascara. This is my first time using the Saie. Not a fair matchup really, so I'm not going to do it, but I could have. Anyways, let me finish putting this on. For lips, we have two different categories. Let's start off with the bullet lipsticks. For Kosas, we have their lipstick formulation. For Saie, we have their lip blur formulation. Kosas I have in the shade High Cut. Saie I have in the shade Modern. Really, really creamy. Love this Kosas formulation. Let's see. Lip blur, a little bit more drag. Colors obviously aren't identical, but we're going off of formula. So there is more drag with the Saie side, but you can see the lines on the lips are less apparent. That being said, well, I think both are very close. I just love the creaminess of the Kosas formulation. So for me, Kosas is going to take this one, making it 4-3. And we have the final round, lip oils. I didn't have a comparable shade between the two, so they're going to be very different. But for Kosas, we have their wet lip oil. And for Saie, we have their glossy bounce lip oil. So I have the Kosas in the shade Dip. The Kosas definitely has more pigment than the Saie, and it's more reminiscent of a lip gloss type formulation, but it's very, very beautiful. Now with the Saie, these are a thinner formula. They're a little bit more slick and watery. I think I'm going to use Push today. The color is more sheer, but you can get some pigment. Now keep in mind, this is a really dark base, hence the pigment level. I'm trying to get an opinion here on the feel. What I'm gonna do actually is take off the lipstick formulation. Just to be clear, I already know which one is gonna win this round. I know which one I prefer, but I'm just trying to articulate it the best that I can. So yeah, this Kosas definitely is more like a lip gloss to me. Obviously, it has that really slick feel and level of hydration that a lip oil makes. And the Saie to me feels more like a true lip oil. Now, in terms of preference, what am I reaching for? Which one I like better? I feel like you can see it here. Do you see how the Saie just smooths over the lips a little bit more than the Kosas? I love that about a lip product. That is huge for me, which for me means that Saie is going to win this round. Which brings us to a tie. We are at 4-4. I've been waiting for this to happen because the tiebreaker is going to be easy, you guys. I'm going to wear this makeup throughout the whole day, do a wear test, and whichever side wears better is the side that is going to win this. But as you can see, Kosas versus Saie, they're pretty evenly matched brand. Some, you know, the brands excel in different things, except for bronzer. I would say bronzer was definitely the closest matchup here. Lips were pretty close too though. But let's take a look and see which one we feel like looks better. I definitely feel like the Kosas side has more of a blurring effect on my pores, but it also looks a little bit heavier makeup wise. It looks like it's sitting a bit more on top of the skin, whereas the Saie, even though I can see my pores a bit more, I feel like it looks a little bit more one with the skin, but it also has a little bit more of an unflattering glow to it. I would say they're pretty evenly matched right now. The under eyes, well, I did say that the Kosas concealer one, it looks better. I can see from where that the Saie side looks a little bit more natural. I think the product is thinner, so it's going to look less cakey on the under eyes, but we'll see. I am still preferring the Kosas side, but I think the wear is an interesting point. If I had to pick a side, they both like have their pros and cons. I'm probably going to pick, I don't know, right? For more of a full coverage makeup-y look, I kind of like the Kosas side a little better, but the Saie side has this really natural glow to it that's also very pretty. It just looks a little bit more skin-like. I'm okay with a little bit of a makeup-y look. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but I think they're pretty even right now, and both of the brands definitely have that glowy look to the skin. So it's going to be really interesting to see in a few hours where we end up. So I will see you guys there. I think I'm going to switch out the lip oils for the lipsticks because I'm very comfortable with my opinions on the lip oils. I really want to compare these lipsticks a little bit more. All right, I will see you guys at the end of the makeup match. Okay, so it is like 9 hours later. I have done the day, went out in the sun. I do live in a humid climate, and we are back to take a look at how the products are looking because this is the tiebreaker. Whichever side I prefer is going to be the winner of today's makeup competition. So I did do a poll right after I applied my makeup. I didn't tell you guys which side was which, but it looked like most people preferred the Kosas side. So the Kosas side had 62%. The right side, which was Saie, had 38% of the votes. But I really think that has to do with the Kosas side, just in general, had more coverage and it had a little bit of a lighter concealer, so it looked a little bit more done up because during the day, I was kind of feeling the Saie side more in terms of a natural look. But 9 hours later, let's see where we're at. In terms of the lipsticks, the lip blur from Saie definitely lasted longer than the Kosas, but the Kosas was more hydrating. So I think they both were great products. It just depends on what you're doing, where you're going, and what condition your lips are in. But generally speaking, I still do prefer the Kosas because I like a more hydrating lip. The color of the blush has held on better to the Kosas side versus the Saie. Now remember, I did use the Saie blush, but a lot of times the base product can help determine how long that blush product will last, and I have more color on the Kosas side. As far as how the base is looking, I will say some wiped off and got patchy here on the Saie side. Both sides have broken up a little bit around the mouth. The makeup is still here on the Kosas side, so I feel like the makeup lasted longer on the Kosas side, but it is looking a little bit thicker and heavier, just as it looked in the beginning. That has carried through. The Saie side has more of a natural look. Concealer, very interesting, though I don't like the Saie concealer because I feel like it dries my under eyes, but it also is quite thin and doesn't do much. Even though it's thin and doesn't do much, that is better for wear because there definitely is less creasing going on because there's less product, less layers to begin to bunch up versus what we have with the Kosas, which honestly doesn't look too terrible. I mean, I'm not really a fan of this concealer. It's not what I'm going to go for, but the wear today, it could be worse. So which side do I prefer? I've got to admit, there's a reason that we're at a tie at this point. Both sides are kind of on an equal playing field right now. I'm leaning more towards the Kosas side because I feel like in general the makeup lasted better. But what I like about the Saie side is I feel like it wore away somewhat gracefully. I mean, we definitely got some separation here around the mouth. A little bit of the product ended up getting wiped off my face. But other than that, I feel like the product has worn down pretty gracefully. But if I had to pick, I think that Kosas is going to win this round. I think a lot of the dewiness from the Saie that was a little bit too much and too heavy for me had to do with the Saie SPF. I'm going to continue playing around with that, but we used a lot of super dewy products from Saie today. Between the SPF, the foundation, the primer that I used, there was a big chance that the makeup was going to slip and slide. So I honestly don't know, like, if I were to ever do a full face of Saie again, if I would pair all of those products layered together, because it's just too much for my skin, I feel like. Same thing with Kosas. They also have a heavy, oily kind of SPF with that stupid glow IV. But generally speaking, I'm going to give this one to Kosas. They're going to win today's makeup battle because the makeup, I think, just stayed on a little bit better. But it is like this much of a difference, you guys. So Kosas is going to take the cake home today. They were the winner of today's makeup competition, but truly in my heart, today's video was actually very much a tie. These brands are pretty even in the playing field in terms of the 8 products that went against one another today. So let me know down below which side do you prefer. It might actually be the Saie side. I can see a world in which somebody would choose the Saie, but I'm liking the coverage that held up just a little bit better here on the Kosas side. So I hope you guys are enjoying this makeup competition. Make sure you comment down below which competitions you want to see next. The ones with the most likes are the ones that I kind of push up a little bit more towards the top of the list. I will say, I want to tie up this little threesome in a nice bow because I want to do Saie versus Tower 28 next, simply for my own curiosity, because in my research, the Saie and Tower 28 brand were pretty close. I kind of got to know. And they're very close if you ask me in terms of brand itself. Like, I feel like they're very, very similar. So I'm curious about that. But I have a lot of really great makeup competitions I want to do next. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Let me know which side you prefer. Let me know what other brands you want to see. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye guys. Have a good one.